Ever wondered what the oldest online games are? Today, we're embarking on a thrilling exploration of digital antiquities. Picture the dawn of the internet, a time when online gaming was a mere blip on the horizon. From these humble beginnings, we've seen the birth and evolution of a myriad of virtual worlds that have captured our imaginations. This journey through time is sure to evoke nostalgia and admiration for the pioneers who shaped the landscape of online gaming. Get ready to dive into the world of the oldest online games, where it all began. We start our countdown at number 10. This journey through time will take us from the most recent to the earliest online games that have shaped the digital world. Our ranking is based on a combination of factors such as original release date, online functionality, and the game's impact on internet culture. Each game holds a special place in the pantheon of online gaming, etching its name in digital history. So buckle up for a ride through the annals of online gaming. Without further ado, let's kick off the countdown. Coming in at number 10, we have Habitat, a game that dared to be different. Released in the mid-80s by Lucasfilm Games, now known as LucasArts, Habitat was a multiplayer online game, a trailblazer in its era. It was a game where players could explore, communicate, and interact in a virtual world, much like the online games we're familiar with today. The game was revolutionary, not just for its technology, but for its gameplay. It didn't have a set objective or a final boss to defeat. Instead, it offered players a sandbox environment where they could create their own stories. This idea was unheard of at the time, but Habitat made it work. Habitat's impact can still be seen today as it laid the groundwork for the concept of virtual communities in gaming. Its influence extends to popular games like Second Life and World of Warcraft. A humble beginning to our list, wouldn't you agree? Moving swiftly along, we reach numbers 9 and 8. Let's dive into the 9th oldest game, Habitat. Released in the late 80s by Lucasfilm Games, now known as LucasArts, Habitat was one of the first attempts at creating a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, or MMORPG for short. It was a trailblazer in its concept of a large-scale interactive virtual environment. Habitat was unique because it introduced the concept of avatars to represent players and was one of the first games to allow users to interact with one another in a digital space. Habitat's use of a token economy, where players could earn and spend in-game currency, set the precedent for many of the online games we see today. It was also one of the first games to implement a form of player governance, allowing players to set their own rules within the game world. Next, we move on to the 8th oldest game, Island of Kesmai. Released in the mid-80s, this game was an early pioneer in the genre of multiplayer online role-playing games. It was text-based, meaning that players interacted with the game and each other through written commands. This may seem primitive by today's standards, but at the time it was revolutionary. Island of Kesmai was unique in its complexity. The game boasted a massive world to explore, filled with monsters to fight and treasures to discover. It had a deep and intricate combat system that required strategic thinking and careful planning. As players progressed through the game, they could level up their characters, improving their abilities and acquiring new skills. While both Habitat and Island of Kesmai may seem simple by today's standards, they were groundbreaking in their time and laid the foundations for the online games we enjoy today. Their innovative ideas and mechanics, such as interactive avatars, in-game economies, and complex game worlds, continue to influence game design to this day. 2 more fascinating pieces of gaming history. Now, it's time to uncover numbers 7 and 6. We've arrived at the 7th oldest game on our list, a fascinating relic known as Mud 1, short for Multi-User Dungeon. Mud 1 was developed in the late 70s by Richard Bartle and Roy Trubshaw. This text-based adventure game was the progenitor of the modern MMORPG genre. Players navigated through a fantasy world, battling monsters, finding treasures, and interacting with other players, all through typed commands. Despite its simplicity, Mud 1 was incredibly popular in its day, and its influence can still be seen in the complex, immersive online games we enjoy today. Moving on, our 6th oldest game is a classic that will likely bring a wave of nostalgia for many out there. Island of Kesmai was released in 1985 and was one of the first graphical MMORPGs. It was a game changer, literally. The game was designed as a commercial successor to the original Kesmai, which was a text-based game much like Mud 1. The Island of Kesmai took the concept to the next level by introducing tiled graphics, creating a more visually engaging experience. This game was no walk in the park, though. It was notorious for its difficulty level, demanding strategy, perseverance, and a fair bit of luck from its players. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, Island of Kesmai became incredibly popular. It was a testament to the potential of online gaming, showing that they could offer deep, challenging experiences that kept players coming back for more. These two games, Mud 1 and Island of Kesmai, were landmarks in the digital gaming landscape. They pushed the boundaries of what was possible, proving that games could be both a shared social experience and a personal adventure. Their influence can still be seen in the online games we play today, from sprawling fantasy epics to competitive esports titles. Halfway through our list and the games are getting even older. We've reached the halfway point. Let's continue with numbers 5 and 4. At number 5 we have Neverwinter Nights, an online wonder that hit the screens in the mid-90s. This game truly revolutionized the role-playing game genre. Its immersive storytelling and interactive gameplay provided a unique experience for players, allowing them to step into the shoes of their characters and traverse through a fantasy world. Not to mention the game's impressive multiplayer feature, which allowed people from all corners of the globe to connect and engage in epic battles. Neverwinter Nights set a high standard for future RPGs, leaving a lasting impact on the gaming industry. Now, let's turn back the clock even further to the early 90s, where we find the fourth oldest online game, The Shadow of Eusebius. This was a game that truly embodied the spirit of adventure. It was an online role-playing game set in a mystical land. Players could form alliances, battle mythical creatures, and explore the expansive world of Eusebius. The game's graphics might seem primitive by today's standards, but they were groundbreaking at the time. The Shadow of Eusebius was a pioneer in the realm of multiplayer online gaming, offering a shared virtual space where players could interact in real time. It was a milestone in the evolution of online gaming, setting the stage for many of the multiplayer games we enjoy today. Both Neverwinter Nights and The Shadow of Eusebius are fondly remembered by veteran gamers for their innovative gameplay and the sense of community they fostered. They were more than just games. They were vibrant, virtual worlds where friendships were forged, adversaries were vanquished, and unforgettable adventures were had. These games have shaped the landscape of online gaming as we know it, influencing the development of countless games that followed. Their legacy continues to resonate in the gaming industry, reminding us of the power of innovation and the importance of community in online gaming. We're closing in on the top 3. The suspense is building. Hold on to your hats, folks. Here comes number 3. Let's travel back in time to the dawn of the internet era. Heralding from the late 80s, our third oldest game is a true pioneer in online gaming. It's a game that took the world by storm, introducing us to a new kind of interactive experience. In a world where graphics were limited and sound was a luxury, this game truly pushed the boundaries. It was a game that required strategy, cunning, and a keen sense of adventure. With a global player base, it connected people from different walks of life, breaking down boundaries and fostering a sense of unity. Its impact on the world of online gaming cannot be overstated. It laid the groundwork for the multiplayer games we enjoy today, revolutionizing how we interact and play. It's a game that in many ways shaped the digital landscape we're familiar with today. We're just 2 steps away from the oldest game. Can you feel the anticipation? Coming in at the runner-up spot, we have the titan of text-based adventures, multi-user dungeon, or Mud. With its immersive gameplay, Mud pioneered the online gaming landscape. Its legacy? A blueprint for modern MMORPGs. Its influence is felt in the rich virtual worlds we explore today. Mud is a testament to the power of imagination, proving that fancy graphics are not a prerequisite for engrossing community-driven gameplay. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. And the title of the oldest online game goes to Multi-User Dungeon, or MUD1, launched in the distant year of 1978. This text-based adventure game, created by Roy Trubshaw and Richard Bartle, set the stage for the multiplayer gaming we know today. MUD1 was a virtual world where players could explore, fight monsters, and interact with each other. This game left an indelible mark on the gaming industry, shaping future generations of online games. And there you have it, the oldest online game. What a journey through the annals of online gaming history. We've traveled from the humble beginnings of the digital age, unveiling a countdown that took us through the top 10 oldest online games of all time. Each game, a milestone in its own right, has marked a significant stage in the evolution of the gaming world. From the 10th oldest game that sparked the beginning of our countdown, to the unexpected twists and turns of games 9 and 8, and the innovative leaps of games 7 and 6, we've seen the groundbreaking strides of games 5 and 4 and the pioneering spirit of the third oldest game. The second oldest game offered us a glimpse into the past, and finally, the oldest online game crowned our journey, reminding us of how far we've come. These games are not just codes and pixels, they are chapters of a story that continues to unfold. Thank you for joining us on this trip down memory lane. Stay tuned for more exciting explorations into the world of gaming.